When viewing large quantities of numerical data in a spreadsheet, it can sometimes be difficult to pick out trends. New to Excel 2010 is something called Sparklines, tiny charts that fit within a cell and give a visual trend summary alongside your data. Let's explore these now. If you've got the exercise files, open up TS Revenues. Here you'll notice we do have some numerical data. And as we scroll down, it might be difficult to pick out trends. So let's create Sparklines. To do that, we can go to the Insert tab on the ribbon and go directly to the Sparklines section and select the type of graph we want to see, a mini line graph, column, or win-loss. To save time, we can select our data ahead of time. Let's click and drag from cell B14 all the way down to B25. That's the data for our first quarter here. Now we'll go back to the ribbon and let's start with a line chart. We'll give it a click and you'll notice Create Sparklines appears where we have the data range already selected. We could have gone to the button to the right hand side to select the data range after the fact, but we saved a little bit of time doing it first. Now we need to select where we want the sparkline to appear, the location range. In this case, we will use the button on the right hand side. One click temporarily allows us to go into our spreadsheet and select the cell. We'll click right below December's value. Notice the cell is highlighted with the marching ants. And we'll come back to the field now and click the same button that allowed us to temporarily access the spreadsheet. And it displays our data range and our location range. All we have to do to accept these selections is click OK. Notice the tiny Sparkline line chart appears just below our data. And this gives us a graphical representation indicating a trend here that's on the rise. What's nice is we can apply this to the other columns that we see in our sheet. By going to the bottom right corner, you'll notice a small tiny handle. And as you hover the mouse pointer over this handle, it turns to the crosshair. Now click and drag across to the other cells underneath those columns and release, and you'll see tiny little spark lines for each of them as well. To really see the end result, click anywhere in a blank cell to deselect those cells. So it looks like for each of the quarters, our spark lines tell us that our trend is on the rise, which is really good when we're tracking revenues. Of course, there are other types of spark lines to choose from as well. Let's go back and select the first cell. When we do this, you'll notice that Sparkline tools are selected for us. So at this time, if we wanted to, we could change the type. Let's try column. And you'll notice that each of the cells containing spark lines here turn to a column type. When we do that, we also have the ability to highlight or show specific features such as high points and low points. Let's say we want to see all the high points. Notice that they're shaded a little bit differently in our sheet. Deselect the checkbox to return back to the default. We can also change the style by going to the Style section. If you want to change colors, for example, or click the drop down to see many more options. Deselect by clicking a blank cell, and there's your end result. So whenever you need a visual trend summary alongside your data, consider these tiny charts called Sparklines.